January 23rd, 1984. It was a day that changed my life forever.
The muscle, the moral courage that built the greatest, freest nation the world has ever known.
Ronald Reagan was our president, and there was trouble brewing in Iran. I was just a kid, but I knew who was behind it. His name was the Iron Sheik.
From Tehran, Iran, weighing 258 pounds, the Iron Sheik.
They have a lot of hate in their hearts for this man.
You see, Reagan may have freed the hostages, but the Sheik still had the championship belt. There was only one man that could save us.
I am a real American.
From Venice Beach, California, the incredible
And the Hulkster rips off that shirt.
But 3 minutes into the match, Hulk Hogan was locked in the dreaded camel clutch.
It's over for the Hulk.
This move would snap the back of a normal man, but this wasn't a normal man. This was Hulk Hogan, and he was fighting for our country. The Hulkster got out of the camel clutch with the Sheik on his back, dropped the big leg, and he pinned the Sheik. Hulkamania was born, and the message was clear. You don't mess with Hulk Hogan, and you certainly don't mess with America.
I must break you.
Look what happened to Ivan Drago. He tried to mess with America, and Rocky kicked his ass. And then when the Vietnamese were holding POWs, Rambo went in and he kicked their ass.
And in the spirit of Rambo, let me tell you, we're gonna win this time.
Then came Arnold Schwarzenegger, the ultimate ass kicker. I never saw Gone with the Wind or Casablanca, but I can tell you every line of every Arnold movie. Crush the enemy, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentations of the women.
Dylan, you son of a bitch.
And they go bam, and they're all oiled up, and their veins are popping out.
Better, stronger, faster.
I was just 12 years old, and there was an explosion of ass kicking in America.
And like our Olympic athletes, we set our sights on the stars and we're going for the gold.
I wanted to tear off my shirt and be ripped, tanned, and larger than life. But in reality, I was a fat, pale kid from Poughkeepsie. You see, I come from an overweight family. My parents were always a little on the heavy side. I couldn't ask for a better mom. She did everything for her 3 boys. We went to church 3 times a week, and she even taught Sunday school. My dad was always there for us, too, and he even coached our Little League teams. I love my dad, but he was never really my hero. I didn't want to be like him. I wanted to be like Arnold. Problem is, I was always too small, too short. People would say, "Hey, Little Bell, what's up, Little Bell?" And I didn't want to be Little Bell. I wanted to be Big Bell. My older brother Mike was a little chubby, and every morning when he went to school, he'd get on the bus, and the kids would call him Pugsley. He didn't like that too much, so he beat some of those kids up. That's where he got the nickname, Mad Dog. Mark was the baby of the family. He had a hard time in school. He was separated from his friends and put in a class with the special kids. It didn't make him feel very special at all. He hated school, so he spent all of his time playing sports. He'd come to the dinner table dripping with sweat. Mad Dog and I nicknamed him Smelly. So I was the short kid, Mad Dog was the fat kid, and Smelly had a learning disability. Okay, I get it. We're never gonna make it, right? But for us, we knew muscles were the answer, and the Hulkster showed us the way.
Train, say your prayers, eat your vitamins, be true to yourself, true to your country, be a real American.
So we started training in the basement. We'd body slam each other, drop elbows, DDTs, double noggin knocker, the abdominal stretch, the iron claw, the Boston crab, the pile driver. And when Mad Dog was too tough for me, I would break out the steel chair. My mom's brother John was a bodybuilder, and he gave me and my brothers our first muscle magazines and showed us how to work out. And the next Christmas, instead of video games, we got the Hulkamania workout set.
Are you ready to feel the power? Ladies and gentlemen, we are the Power Team!
Mad Dog became the captain of the football team, and Smelly and I both started competing in powerlifting.
Chris Bella's up next at 4:25.
Soon I was the strongest kid in my high school. Then I broke the New York State record. And that's when I first got accused of using steroids.
Other kids your age, they look down at you or have that anomaly, or you guys can't be that strong without drugs, you must be taking them.
I knew guys who used them, but they were losers. If my heroes didn't need steroids, then neither did I. By the time I was a senior, I was one of the strongest kids in the country. Hulk Hogan was always talking about
Hanging and banging down at Gold's Gym, Venice Beach, brother.
I thought, that's where Arnold trains. That's where I need to be. I was going to be an American hero, and I was willing to do whatever it takes. It's been 15 years since I got to California, and now I'm 33 years old. When Arnold was 33, he had already won the Mr. Olympia 7 times. Stallone had already made Rocky 1 and Rocky 2, and the Hulkster had already been the heavyweight champion 4 years in a row. I really thought muscles were going to be the answer, but all they got me was a job selling gym memberships. I still train every day at Gold's, but the only thing left of Arnold is a cheap mural on the wall, and a bunch of guys telling stories about the old days. Like my buddy Paul.
It's changed a lot in all these years, you know.
Changed a lot? How long you been here?
Since 1980. Of course, Arnold was on the scene, and Arnold, nobody had ever seen anybody that looked like Arnold. Sylvester Stallone had just done the Rocky movies, and he was the type of guy that I could relate to.
Paul even got a chance to work with Sly in Over the Top.
I should be able to blow them away real easy.
I couldn't believe the dream was coming true.
And did you get a chance to do it again?
No, but I'm hoping to get back in shape to be able to make that a reality. You can be on the street one day, and you can be in a penthouse the next. Anything's possible. This is my humble abode.
Your humble abode right here?
Yeah, it's...
So do you actually live in the van?
I actually live in... well, I sleep in it. Let's put it this way, yes.
You should sleep in it?
Yeah.
And then you train over here?
I train here, yeah. You would see vans like this. Guys who come from all over the world, sleep in their cars, this and that, anything to get a chance to train at Gold's Gym, because we had something special here.
What would you say to people that say, like, you know, the dream's over, man, you're 50 years old, like,
yeah.
What would you say to those people?
They're the ones that are short-sighted. Now, in 6 months, I can still be in the van, but if I can outlift everybody, I can out-squat them, out-bench them, out-deadlift them, who's the king? Guys like you and me can fulfill our dreams. We can train. Game ain't over. The sun is shining. And it ain't over.
Is that going to be